That's a tough question. Basically, I mean, today there are a lot of challenges. As I see it, they're all global. We have connected the world, yet we have a lot of local systems. I mean, we live in countries and have borders that we have created, but yet see the whole world is tied together. So the challenges for business and also for our political system and society as such is that all challenges ahead of us will be global. The other thing I see is that the questions that philosophers have been bugging their minds with for thousands of years that were abstract questions are now becoming technical questions. So an example is, do you want an egocentric or a humanistic car, self-driving car, that you kind of sort of tell the car, who are you going to kill by an accident, or what it's going to do. And all these questions are now technical questions. And I think from that perspective that a lot of companies also would need philosophers in an organization to help think and reflect on these type of questions. If I were to look at the challenges, I think there are obviously a lot of things to do around the field of AI or AGI. We create algorithms and conclude with the question, what is more important, intellect or consciousness? It is a very difficult situation for us to cope with something that is a lot smarter and better than us. So I think controlling the authorities that we are now moving into algorithms, that's a big challenge. We're going to see a lot of things happening in biotech and nanotechnologies. These revolutions are obviously things that will be for us to cope with. And I don't think we can just leave it alone. So we have to think about questions and new ideas and how to cope with all that. Well, we have created technologies. Now we are dopamine junkies, 8 hours, 10 hours a day with our digital world. I think we need to rediscover the art of thinking. And when I say that, basically just to reflect and think about it. I talk about changing twice. The one thing that we're good at is innovation. That's doing something faster and rapid. That's how we change the world. It requires action. But the other part of change is a change in perception. It is how we see the world, taking a different view. As we are in this reaction mode, we are constantly looking for this dopamine, that we just get instant gratifications. It's all fast. We just can't take time off, and all managers think that they have to stick on it, otherwise they will miss out on something. And by rediscovering the art of thinking, I think it's just simple things such as blocking in the calendar 1 hour a week just for thinking, doing something different, doing something new, facing your fears, moving your boundaries of what you can have been doing in the past. And I think it's very important because that's where you'll find the answers or the new questions. You will not find it in the same field that you're stuck in, but you will find it from other sources. Go out, hang out with homeless people, try a lot of things. And that's what I mean by rediscovering the art of thinking and finding time for thinking and reflection and trying to not to accept only the one answer. And the other thing is that we should pay tribute to Hans Rosling, Professor Rosling, that passed away a couple of months ago, this genius professor from Sweden with his Gapminder Foundation, who has set out on a journey to create a fact-based society. And I think that we need to take up his torch and carry on that. And for that, we need to think and reflect upon the real answers and in times of what we call alternative truth and facts. It has always been a lot of lies, but we need to take time to think about it and create our own opinion. And that's what I mean by rediscovering the art of thinking. I think there are a lot of opportunities that will emerge. I could be very pessimistic about the future because technology and algorithm could basically do it all. But it makes very little sense for me to think about the future as a terrible scenario, because if we go down and go under, there will be no one there to kind of sort of prove that I was right. So that makes no sense to me. So I choose positivism. I think there are a lot of things that we can take up. We have in the past been able to step down from the powers, from our egos, to find solutions for mankind. And if you look at technology and AI, we always think about this, mad crazy robots that come and kill us. I don't think that's a very big problem as such. I mean, the technology can go wild and mad, and there could be one person at the end controlling the algorithms and everything. But I think what we should think about is basically what does it mean if a AI or an AGI can do everything better than we can? We become obsolete. So it could be negative, but I choose positive. I think there are a lot of opportunities in the field of creative stuff and creating things, playing with ideas, and finally using the technology to free up time and doing the things that satisfy us. So I mean, the opportunities are that we could start a journey to reflect and find what is important to ourselves. I mean, we talk about the self-conscious human being, but we don't know what consciousness is. We know a lot about intelligence, and that's what Adam Turing also created, artificial intelligence. We've been working for that for the past 60 years or something. But in artificial consciousness and artificial thought, we haven't made any progress. So there's a lot of things that will emerge around that. On a short-term basis, there is a lot of new work opportunities, kind of sort of people needed to guide you through this mess that we are now in. It's a very messy world, and you need someone to guide you through this mess. And when I take up that change part of it, I talk about the postulates of change and how you could take control of the change and not being driven by the forces of change from the outside. And I think that if you understand that, I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek, and to start with the why. Why do you get up? Why do you have to have more? Why do you have to kind of grow? All these questions that you need to have a purpose for something. And then also for yourself, but also for your company or your team. Then they will follow you if they understand why. And there are a lot of these things that have changed that are put in together into a total of 10 postulates of change that I talk about. And within those, there also are obviously opportunities. But I know, I can only speak from a short term, that there will be new jobs and new things that we can take up. On a long term, we'll see. I mean, it's challenging, messy, crazy times, but it's in fact the most exciting time to be alive, I believe, because so many things are going on. And if we take control and you can create our own lives, we can do the change, we can take control of the change, and I think then it will be for the better. So I choose positivism.